Welcome to Brick by Brick, Building Wealth Through Homeownership. I am Kim Von Dohren, your realtor.
And I'm your banker, Ed Marko. So this is a big one. This is going to be fun for us, maybe not for everybody listening, but we are going to talk about property assessment and property taxes and how that works and how you can appeal them.
Correct.
If you're not happy with what it is. Now we're going to be talking, Kim's going to do most of the talking on this one because she's pretty much an expert on this, although I do know a fair amount too. But we're going to talk about the county where we live, which is Berks County, Pennsylvania. Your county may be different. You want to check with your county courthouse and find out when their appeal dates are for there. But Kim, I'll let you take it from here.
So let me just start by saying I am not an expert, but I have a little bit of experience. And I did recently attend a tax appeal seminar that was put on by the board members who sit on the board of tax appeals. And the whole motivation for doing this isn't because this is a tantalizing topic for people, but because many people don't realize that they can appeal their property taxes. If your property taxes seem high to you, you should investigate this avenue. And in that, it's going to require us to explain to you about property assessment values, fair market value, and we are going to be specific to our county, and I'm going to say our county is Berks County in Pennsylvania. Each county in Pennsylvania is specific in and of itself. So if you are in a different county, you have to investigate that specific county. And if you go to another state, it's a whole nother ball game. So please know that we are just talking about Berks County, Pennsylvania.
Right. Although this is going to be similar in a lot of places. You just want to check with your taxing body and find out what their rules are.
Yes. Okay. So Berks County, and we didn't look this up, we probably should have, has not had a reassessment. And what that is, a reassessment is saying that the governing body for your county has not taken a look at what are the true values or the market values of homes in this county in 20, 30 years.
It's been decades, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the whole reason that they do this odd thing, which is if you look at your tax bill or if you look at your public record, you will see that the assessed value of your home is significantly lower than the market or fair market value of your home. And so people often wonder about that. Well, what is that? That's not really what my home is worth. No, it isn't. That number is supposed to reflect what your home would have been worth the last time they did assessments.
Right.
And there's a calculation that they use in an effort to come up with that number, especially if you are new construction, because if you're not assessed properly, then you might be being overtaxed. So the term is called the common level ratio, right?
Correct.
We're trying to create a level playing field so that everyone's assessment is reflective of the last time they did an assessment decades ago.
Correct.
Okay. So the common level ratio changes every year to keep up with the inflation value of homes. So, well, what have homes been doing particularly over the last 5 years?
Yeah, so they've doubled in value, really.
Escalating.
At least. Yeah.
Escalating in value. Mm-hmm. So the way in which they determine what your assessment is for your home, the value of your property, is they take the fair market value of your home and they multiply it times this common level ratio, and that gives the assessment or the assessed value of your home. Now, how do they determine taxes? Do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, so there's a thing called millage, and it's basically a percentage, and they're going to tax you based on that assessment, a percentage of the value, and that's what the tax is. So if you've got a house that's assessed at, say, $100,000, and your millage is 0.4, your taxes are $4,000 a year.
Yes.
And it's just that simple. And you would probably have one for the wherever you live, the area that you live in, your school tax, your local tax, and your state tax. So you've got those 3 taxes.
Right. So the millage is what is multiplied times your assessed value to get your tax number.
Correct.
Right. So if that tax number is high, well, let's just talk for 1 minute about fair market value.
Sure.
So what is fair market value of your home?
Well, traditionally, fair market value is whatever somebody's willing to pay.
Absolutely. That's the simplest
or
terms.
cost of construct.
Right. So, okay. So how do we determine what that is if in fact your home is not up for sale?
All right, so you're going to look at comparable homes in your market. That's always, from a finance standpoint, we want to look at homes that were sold in the last 6 months. That's probably similar. Is it the same?
Absolutely. And that's how an appraiser looks at it, as we know from dealing with an appraiser in almost every transaction. They're going to look at properties that have sold that are comparable in age, size, style, location. They're going to use only properties, ideally, that have sold in the last 6 months. And then they're going to equalize them by making adjustments to each property to make them match the subject property. So, having said all of that, that's how we get the fair market value of your house if your house is not actually up for sale. So, in the county of Berks, you can appeal those taxes. So, if you want to investigate this, you can do this on your own to begin with. You can go online and Google what's the common level ratio for my county. You can take a look at what is your current assessed value by going on to the public records and seeing that. You can reach out to a realtor if you have someone that you work with or have known over the years. They can help you. Lawyers can also help you do this if you want to pay a lawyer. Now, the process for specifically Berks County, you can appeal your taxes 1 time per year. And that window of time that you get to apply to have the hearing to appeal your taxes is from June 15th to April 1st.
So 45 days, August 1st.
So I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, that was crazy. Scratch that. From June 15th to August 1st, 45 days. Yes. You only get 45 days. That is not a flexible window in the least. You have till August 1st at 5 p.m. to submit your application. You must provide, believe it or not, a paper application with your evidence, which also has to be paper. Now, you can mail it if you choose, but it darn well better be there by August 1st. They won't accept anything, even if it has a postmark of August 1st. They won't accept that. It must be in their office by 5 p.m. August 1st. You need at least 3 comparable properties that have closed in the last 6 months to provide as your evidence. And they better be good comparables to your house. It cannot be you live in a 2,000 square foot house and this is a 980 square foot house. That's not a good comp. Your house is built in 2000 and this house was built in 1950. Again, not good comps. You should, if you are not familiar, get some guidance from somebody and a little bit of help. So, the other thing you could have is an appraisal. You could literally pay an appraiser if you wanted to do an appraisal on your home, and you can use that to submit.
The appraisal will have those comps provided for you, right?
Correct. Someone will have done the work for you. That's what you would be paying for.
Right.
And it would have an appraised value, and they will accept that as your evidence. So you can submit an appraisal, or you can use comparables as your evidence. But you will have to submit the application and your evidence by, can't say it enough, August 1st. And then what will happen is over the next couple of months, they hold hearings. They used to hold the hearings in person, which was fun. The one I went in person.
Okay.
And it was in the closest city to us in this county. And in that city, the school district sent an attorney to hear our appeal. because they were at risk of losing tax dollars.
Sure.
And they don't want to do that.
So it is kind of a two-edged sword, isn't it? I mean, if I can appeal my property taxes and get them lowered, these other interested parties, like the school district, can also appeal my taxes and say they're too low.
You are correct. So that is a reality. School districts now apparently in their business department have somebody who is on the lookout, especially for homes that have sold for, if they believe that the assessed value would be at least $75,000 greater than what it currently is, they are appealing those.
Wow.
There are some school districts in Berks County that are actively doing that.
Wow.
Now, that's a pretty big leap to go $75,000 higher in assessed value.
Mm-hmm.
But it's correct. They have that. The other question people often ask is, am I at risk of getting mine increased?
Yeah.
And everybody's afraid of that.
Yeah. Can that happen?
It could actually happen. If you have done your homework properly, it shouldn't, because you would know by looking at the comparable properties and doing the computations what your taxes should be, what your assessment should be. You should not really have that risk if you've done the proper legwork.
So you don't want to do this foolhardily. You want to know that you're paying too much in property taxes and that you're going to save enough to make this what I like to call all the time a worthwhile endeavor. There's no point in doing this because you think you might save $50.
Right.
You're putting yourself in jeopardy.
Right. Yeah. I have a client currently who we're going to appeal their taxes, and they're looking to save something in the neighborhood of $3,600 a year. So that's $300 a month. That is very significant. And the reason that they're overtaxed in that way is because of it was a new construction home. And Ed, you can speak of this. When you fund somebody who's done new construction, what do you recommend them to do around their taxes?
We always say at the first opportunity, appeal your taxes. And the reason for that is pretty simple. Usually when you're building a house, it's expensive. It is really, really expensive. And I'm not saying that the house isn't worth what you're paying for it, but what I am saying is it's going to appraise at its absolute tippity top highest when it's shiny and brand new. A year later, it's not a brand new house anymore. It's just like every other house in the neighborhood. And it's probably going to appraise for a little bit less. Also, the taxing body is looking to get as much as they can tax-wise out of that property. So I'm not saying that they're cheating. I'm just saying they're going to tax it at the highest rate that they possibly can. And you can't blame them. That's the way they generate revenues. So you want to check them. Right. And it can be significant. I've never heard of one quite that high, but
there was a boom, as you may recall, in the early 2000s where people built new construction homes.
Yes.
And then there was the 2008 thing that happened.
Right.
And so a lot of those people who built houses from 2000 to 2008, those folks should have appealed their taxes and didn't. They were being taxed at very high rates.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so if your house was built between 2000 and 2008 and you never appealed your property taxes, this is an alert to you. You should absolutely take a look at your property taxes because you more than likely would benefit from an appeal. And it's important to know, and I learned this at the seminar, when they assess your new constructed home, they send an assessor out to do that. And they use a whole computer program to determine the value of your home. They are not permitted to use the common level ratio. So they aren't even using that common level ratio that we talked about. Right. They're using, what is this house worth today, built today, constructed today? What is it worth today? And that's the number they put on it. So it is not adjusted down for when was the last time it was assessed years and years and years ago.
Yeah, decades.
Right. Yeah. So I think that is the overall idea, is take a look. If you could potentially save yourself hundreds, if not thousands of dollars a year just by appealing your property taxes, which is a pretty simple process. You do have to be on the telephone with them. You don't get to go in person anymore. You have to actually do it over the telephone, but it's it's a pretty simple experience, and if you have a realtor or an attorney, somebody to help you, it's even easier.
Awesome.
I hope this was helpful to people.
I hope people that need it use it, and I hope that they're thoughtful about it if they don't need it. Because, like I said a little earlier, it can cut both ways. But yeah, so until next time, I'm Ed Marko.
And thank you so much for listening. Please submit any questions, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes.
Yes, and I am Kim Von Dohren.
You have been listening to Brick by Brick. Be sure and subscribe, post questions for future episodes, or comment. This is a Super Squirrel production, Super Squirrel Studios, Stony Creek Mills, Pennsylvania.